Hi, welcome to Sean's Tech Talk, and today we're going to talk about how to set up your podcast using Podcast Generator.
From the tech hubs of Cyber City comes Sean's Tech Talk with Sean Campbell.
G'day world, and welcome to Sean's Tech Talk for the very first time, a software how-to, and this is all about this program right here. It's called Podcast Generator. It's actually a program for your website, so basically you can make your podcast and configure it enough to put it onto an RSS feed, or even better still, put it on the iTunes store. So what we're going to do now is to go into the Sean's Tech Talk podcast page, and you can see right now, as I click into the admin section right here, this is Sean's Tech Talk. This is the menu for the podcast, and yes, we're trying to, I'm going to reconfigure this one anyway. Now, as you can see, this is made by the people who are amazing in these jobs. So try to donate by clicking on that button here. But you can check for updates and everything in this area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and customize our free box. So while I get my HTML for the like box for this actual segment here, I will pause it and get back to you in a minute. Okay, as you can see now, I've got my copy and paste. What I'm going to do now is to go to customize my free box. Now, when you customize your free box, you can actually have a look at this, clear, and delete. You can just delete the information inside your free box. What I'm going to do now is actually paste the HTML on here, and then click on update. And as you can see, we got the light box right here. Now, you can also get your Twitter button and everything else. So at the moment, I'm just going to put on my like box in my free box. So what I'll do after that is to push the send button, and we are officially up and running. So it's now in my free box. So what I'll do is to go into the home page of Sean's Tech Talk, and you can see there is a Facebook like box in there. Now, like I said before, I'm actually going to transfer all this directly into my Facebook. So basically, this will be hidden, but of course, it won't be hidden because I've got to upload and everything on here. So what I'm going to do is go back into the admin and show you actually more information about how to put this together. Now, to go down here, you go to your podcast details. You change your podcast details right here. Now, as you can see, there's a problem. You can see there's a backspace on the website. Now, this is a problem for most of it. Now, we're going to try our best to fix this up. So, what are we going to do is actually pause this and type in all the details. And actually, I'll actually do it live. So, the podcast. Now, I'm going to change the podcast to this one. So I'm going to cut that and highlight that and paste it into here. Now, with the podcast description, you can do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Now, under the copyright notice, because what we're doing here, we're actually building the thing before we actually submit it to the iTunes store. So put in your copyright notice as this. Now, before you do, you need to do something called a character map. You'll open it in Windows. If you don't have Windows, if you've got Mac, find yourself something called character map, or find a list of characters, highlight the character you want, copy it and paste it. So what I'm doing right now, I'm actually going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in here and put in 2014, and make sure you get the space between those, and my company, which is XRLENT Media, in association with Sydney TAFE Radio. all rights reserved. Now you need to put in the all rights reserved because what you're doing here is original content. Now before I go on, I apologize on the fan. The reason is that the fan is actually, it's getting hot in here and I'm trying to cool the computer down and everything, so that's what the fan's on. So mention it to you now, if I didn't mention to you earlier, or put on a little bit of a beginning saying there's a fan noise up there, and I apologize. Now, your author's name is not Sean's Tech Talk. Your author's name will be your company's name or your registered name. Okay, you don't have to use the author's name. You can actually use the registered name. So I'm putting my business name on there, XRLENT Media. And now, is it explicit? The answer is no, it is clean, because most of this stuff will be clean. So you send it, and they fixed it. So basically they got rid of the hash or the / on there, and all the machines are fixed, and that's it. That's how you actually get your podcast up and running. Now let's continue, because we now have to go and upload the podcasts. So what we're going to do is to go back into admin, see if this is still running. It is. And then click on new podcast. Now, your file name. Now, what do we need as a file name? And actually get the show opener, a WAV file, and then I put in Sean's Tech Talk title, Sean's Tech Talk theme, and short description would be as follows. The short description is, this is the theme for the new Tech Talk, which is coming soon. There you go. And get rid of all the bad letters and mistakes that you made. Is it explicit? The answer will be no. None of my stuff is explicit. Now, I was going to put in a log description, and that's an extra. The keyword is Sean's Tech Talk. Now, make sure you put in commas. Theme. And coming soon. Alright, so you click on no for explicitness. Now, before you go on, now I'm going to put XRLENT Media on here. Now, the author's email address will not be your company's email. It will be your show's email. And that is mail@seanstechtalk.com. Do not, under any circumstances, put in another email. If you got an email from your host provider, use that email, make an email address, and that's fine. If you got a Gmail or anything like that, that is also fine on there. But if you put that address on, make sure you get the correct address. Alright, so let's upload the episode right now. Now, this might take a while. It's only 48% at the moment. It's almost done. Now, that will convert to an MP3 file, hopefully. Just waiting. And that's it. Your theme, your Tech Talk podcast, my Tech Talk podcast, is officially open. So, what I'm going to do now is to go to RSS. No, actually, I'm going to go to iTunes right now and launch the application. And when this is open, I can actually show you what you can do on here. Okay, just waiting for the ITPC. Here we go. And that's it. It's up and running. Now all I have to do is to go into podcast right here. Click on Sean's Tech Talk. And we're back, and of course I had to put on the system warnings and sounds because what I'm going to do right now is to play you the actual Tech Talk theme from my iTunes.
From the tech hubs of Cyber City,
You can't hear it.
comes Sean's Tech Talk. From the
Okay, now you can't hear that, and I do apologise. It looks like it didn't work, but it did actually tell you it has played, it has downloaded, and everything is okay. So, of course, that is how you use Podcast Generator. And now, I'm going to show you how to actually put it on your iTunes Store and install it as a official podcast on the iTunes Store itself. So let's go back to the admin section and go to submit your podcast to the iTunes Store. Launch the application. Okay, we are now officially back on the actual website of the iTunes directory. All you have to do is to get that one, click on continue on my logo, and we'll go straight into the actual iTunes Store page, where hopefully, there you go, there's the short and long one, and it's clean and everything. And it's got all the things in there, and you just click on submit, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the official way to get your podcast onto the iTunes Store. And that's it for Sean's Tech Talk for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to put that podcast onto your Facebook page using RSS Graffiti. So I'll see you next time, and you have just been Sean.